Dale digs down under. I'm digging down under me shed. Poor bloody phone, she copped it again. Right, let's go sort out that leaf catcher now, because that's where everything works from at the beginning, and we'll plug everything together from it. Here's that leaf catcher I was talking about, and this is where it all starts from. I've got a gap of 250mm between the soffit and where the top of the tank is. So I've got to fit the pipework between that height without it overflowing out of this part. I'll take 75mm off of this and lower the tank slab by 10mm, and that'll sort out getting the water from this thing into the tank before it overflows out of the spigot. There we go, got all that cleaned up. She's a bit shorter now. I'll lock that back in. Pick that point. A bit of a bend there. Just gently knock it over with that. Let's have a look at it. Whoops. There you go. I think that's pretty snazzy. All I got to do is trim one square off there, one square off there, and all the way back. Oh, the old duck, she's come out for a feed. Gee, she's bloody noisy, sitting on eggs. Gonna have ducklings soon. Now we got this one here all sorted out. We'll go and put it in place, eh? Well, there it is. And there's the rest of the pipe work all hooked up. Comes out of the leaf eater there, runs across to the wall, then it runs down this first drop, catch all the sediment and stuff like that. Then that backs up with water, then it overflows through that T-piece, down this one, and then at the moment comes out there, runs across, comes down and goes off into the existing bloody stormwater drain there. In the future, if you want to utilise this as a water tank pipe, you just put a cap in there, and then what that'll do is it'll just back this up, and then the water will rise back up that one, come out that overflow, and make its way over into the tank. What we'll quickly do now is duck down the bottom and turn the pump on, see what type of water we're getting from there, and if it's clear, we'll pump some up into here, eh? That way we can test these connections here too, and make sure that under pressure they're going to hold. And what this will do is it'll actually put a 3 metre head on top of all of these, and all of the fittings down there, they'll have about a 6 metre head on them. They're going to have a fair bit of pressure. Oh, looks like she's flowing pretty clear. Oh, look out. The water has arrived, eh? Bloody awesome. There's no full-on water movement there, so nothing's really leaking. We got no drips up here either. Oh, the test will be what's going on down there. So this thing's just shut down, and look at all the bloody water that's back in the hole. What I'm going to have to do is get a one-way check valve set up in this thing. Got to stop all that water from dropping back down, stirring everything up. It's just wasted energy really, because this thing's put all that power into pushing it bloody 6 metres up in the air, and it all just comes flooding back. Definitely want to get that in place and make this a little bit better system. Oh, beauty, guys. Now I can get cracking on backfilling some of this bloody stuff here. Stop the dog from spreading everything everywhere. Finish off the slab prep and get the concrete in, drag that sucker up there, and tiny little bit more pipe work, we're done. We got ourselves a water storage coming out of the hole. So while I was filing away, I realised I put a big bloody split in this thing, didn't I? I'll get a bit of silicone and patch up that split and just run a bead around that pipe. And that should pretty well waterproof the thing. It's only going to be working when it's absolutely hammering down rain. And if it is, everything's wet anyway. Couldn't find any nozzles, so just took the old nozzle lid off that was corking it up. Spewed it clean out the tube. Lots of silicone. Just got to make sure that goes back on right, or it'll dry up the whole bloody thing. So, because I've had to bloody put these blobs there, you can use a bit of dishwashing liquid and some water. Give your finger a spray and use that. But if you're stuck for that, your spit works really good, eh? So you can do all of that. I've got a little tiny bit of silicone on my finger. Normally this stuff would be stuck everywhere. There we go, looks magic. All sealed up. Gone ahead and buried all of that part. I've got all this boxing set up, ready to go. I'll just throw this bit of mesh in there, bang some Able Flex up along the wall, then throw some concrete in. And I went ahead and cleaned up what the chooks had made a mess of in here. And that's about 90mm below surface, all the way through the centre. Creates a beam on both sides, and that way the slab's still sitting on solid ground, but I can fill in the guts. Let's go get some concrete mixed up and throw it in the hole, eh? You beauty. I'm just going to make my way around all of this and fill in all the beams until I've got it up to a consistent thickness that we've got to fill up at the end. And I'll work my way through. There we go, guys. Slabs in, looking bloody smicko. Whenever you do new concrete, for about 7 days, you want to keep it wet. So you just come out in the morning and give it a wet down, come out in the evening and give it a wet down. The slower the moisture comes out of it, the stronger concrete is. I've got this pipe work here set up and ready to go. It's all glued in all the way up to the top there. Just need to finish off working out what the height's got to be. Time to try and push this thing up onto the slab, eh? Got this dodgy bloody Egyptian system set up. Should drop down onto these pipes, and I've angled that one over that way, so the tank should just walk itself across. And then we'll get it up onto that bigger one. I don't know what it'll do. We'll get it up there and we'll put another bit of pipe on there and we'll start motoring down. Let's see how we go. Well, we got her up there now, guys. I just got to get this last bit of timber out and then let that lower back down. There's only a tiny bit underneath. There we go. Perfect. Just tried to do the final plumb up on this thing and realised that this doesn't fit. Look at the bloody shape of that hole. We'll put a proper round hole in it, and that way we can get this thing plumbed in. So now I've got the issue of I've got a hole saw, but I can't run a pilot in here. So this will be a bit of fun. Looks like I'm going to have to open it up a little bit. I've got it all shaved out nice now. Fits in beautifully. One thing I wanted to say is, if you're ever doing stuff like this, every single time you make a cut with the hole saw, tighten up that chuck, because imagine what happens when that comes loose. Yeah, so she's a nice tight fit, that one. I'll be able to just tap it in there. Now I've got to push this one up the hole. Before I do, because this part here is going to be all the way down at the bottom, I've got to drill a couple of holes up in here, because otherwise, as soon as it turns off, without that one-way check valve, this thing will siphon the whole bloody tank back into the hole. These couple of holes should do the trick to break the vacuum. Alright, let's go ahead and join them up. There we go, she's all plugged in and glued up. And we've kind of jumped ahead in the future a little bit, because I've done all the concreting around this part. I've just got to finish off the top bit. That looks pretty neat, I think. And I've got this end here hooked up too. After I got some water in this bloody thing, it wasn't just the tank that leaked. The top of this leaks like a sieve too. If I leave that cracked open, I've put a bung on the end of this line. We'll pop that bung off. Hold it up nice and high to begin with, and then, oh, there we go, right there. So that there is level with where the water is already in the tank. She's almost full. Bloody hell, it's been in here for a week and a half. Almost got a full tank of water. Alright guys, now we got all this set up, let's get back down the hole and go and have a look at what this tap's capable of. See what type of water pressure we got down there. So I got that bit of poly pipe coming in from underneath there, going across into a 90-degree elbow, and down to this point here. Now we've got it hooked up with a hose ready to go. Let's see how well this thing cleans this joint out, eh? Well, it's definitely not astonishing water pressure, but that's good enough to clean the place out. Not wasting any of the water that I've got to pay for. I've already got that thing diverted up the top, so as soon as the pump kicks back in, it'll pump all this stuff down the back instead of into the tank. So the missus sends us down the shops the other day to go and pick up a packet of bloody baby diapers. So I'm going down the aisle and I'm looking at all the names of these baby diapers, and they're all these beautiful, lovable things like Huggies and stuff like that. I'm thinking, oh, well, it's a nice thing, isn't it? You're looking after the little baby and you're wiping its bum and you're caring for it. It's all about a loving thing. And then grabbed a packet and walking further off down the aisle and see the adult diaper section. I noticed them ones are called Depends. So Suppose it all depends on if you're in the will for those ones, eh? So that hose there's working perfectly for me now. Don't have to worry about running one in from up at the tap. Got it down there and I can wash my hands whenever I want to. How good's that? So with this thing set up now, guys, we got a constant water supply. Bloody beauty. I'm stoked about that. That's a little bonus that I never thought I'd get out of this. And I've got to replace that tap. I've got all the fittings there. And we got a heap of new little additions. Look at these ones, guys. How cute are they? Mum's doing a great job looking after them. The missus took some footage of these ones when they were just born. First day when they were out running around. So I'll chuck that up here now for you to look at. And remember, guys, small knocks break bloody big rocks. See you next time.